Yeah, and given that you are at least a part-time Cubs fan because you have your Sox and your Cubs season tickets, you will. If you're watching a Cubs game, say on WGN America, and the president walks in, is he going to join and watch it with you, or is he a fervent Sox fan like the rest of us? And
No, he's with you. I love the Sox too. In fact, the Sox came to visit us at the White House, which was really, really fun. I spent a long time talking to Kenny Williams, who's just a terrific guy with a wonderful story, who, by the way, has done an unbelievable job as general manager of the team. But yeah, I'll tell you, when the president was campaigning, we went to a fundraiser in Boston, and it was during a weekend of a critical Yankees-Red Sox series, and he walked in, and the organizers gave him a Red Sox cap to wear, and the president said, "There's no way I'm putting that on my head." He said, "I'm a White Sox fan. I'm sorry, can't do it." And he got up in front of the crowd, and he said, "They wanted me to wear a Red Sox cap, but I told them they got the wrong socks." And everybody booed. And he said, "But I'll tell you this, when the Red Sox are playing the Yankees, I'm for the Red Sox."
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the crowd went nuts. So I thought he handled that pretty well. But he's a big White Sox fan.
So it's safe to say that the White House won't be going blue for at least the next 4 years, and hopefully not the next 8.
Well, I will say that we're hoping. I'm sure I'm hoping to entertain a Chicago team here with for a World Series championship while we're here, and I know that he would say he'll take either, but his preference would be the White Sox. I'm completely agnostic on that. I will take either of them.
Yeah, and actually, I'd much rather have a fan of. Like President Obama is, he sticks to the Sox and he doesn't really flip-flop.
And that's coming from a Cubs fan. This
yeah,
guy's a
I respect that a lot more.
The thing that I don't have now, he's not from Chicago originally either. He moved here, after college. I moved here for college, but because I came from New York, I could never root for the Yankees. I grew up with the Mets. In my house, it was the Mets. The Yankees were hated. I'd go to Yankee games because I loved baseball, so I'd go to the games. But I didn't really particularly like the Yankees. But when you get to another city, I don't feel the same tribal necessity to root for one or the other. And I've lived on both the South Side and the North Side, so I'm geographically confused anyway.
Yeah, let's move back to basketball now, actually college basketball. Back in March, the big thing was President Obama's bracket that he made there, the Barackatology, they called it.
Yes.
He had North Carolina winning, which ended up being right. I did not think that was going to be the case. Did you make a bracket yourself, and if so, what were your picks?
Well, look, I mean, this is hard for me because I'm a modest and humble person, but I did have a bracket, and I happened to have won the White House pool.
Oh, nice.
Mainly because as a Midwesterner, I put a heavy bet on Michigan State to go pretty far, and that turned out to be a pretty good,
good
deal for me. So I did have North Carolina, but I had Michigan State going to the Final Four, and that was good. The thing about it is that the guy who runs the pool here is Reggie Love, who used to play for Duke with Chris Duhon and Lou Aldang and all those guys, and Boozer. And so Reggie feels obligated he runs the pool. He knows a lot about basketball, obviously, but he feels obligated every year to pick Duke.
Fandom supersedes common sense.
He finishes, he finished well toward the bottom on this thing. So there was no particular reward for running the pool for him. So.
Yeah, and I remember when we were at spring training together there at the Sox game, it was looking bad for you that particular day, so I guess it evened out for you. Another thing...
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, Michigan State carried me.
Oh, yeah.
It carried me on that. This is the problem with being busy in this job, that I didn't know that Frazier was out for the Illini, and I had them going farther than they obviously did. I mean,
they can't score, especially without Frazier.
Right. So that was a mistake born out of ignorance. But I survived that to win the pool.
And not only that, I remember another thing we talked about is Josh Fields was having a rough day that day. Yeah. On the Sox side of things, have you turned anew for Josh Fields here? He had a nice start, and he only has one error to this point.
Yeah, I'm going to give it time. I feel like badly criticizing any of the White Sox because they were all here. They all seem like nice fellas, and so I don't want to be too critical. I did see him strike out. Was it with the bases loaded the other day?
Yeah, and then that same game he got hurt.
Yeah, so that didn't make me feel better about him. I still was having some Creedy envy at that moment, but I think he's our guy. We gotta hope for the best here.
Demon Days on Radio DePaul. We're here with President Obama's senior advisor, David Axelrod. David, who is your favorite professional athlete of any sport?
Of all time?
Yeah, all time.
Oh, wow, that's really, really, really a hard one. I mean, it's really hard to have spent 13 years here watching Michael Jordan and not say that. I was actually at the game in Utah when he had the flu.
Great game.
You guys were young.
Yeah,
we still watch it.
It's a classic. It's a classic game. In fact, I went to Utah and I spent a lot of money on a ticket, and so much that I was really, really worried about my wife getting the credit card bill. And I called her without telling her what I paid for the ticket to say I was at the stadium and I was on my way and how excited I was. And she said, "Is Jordan even playing?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" They said on the news he's sick.
Oh, man.
And I'm looking at this ticket thinking about what I paid for it and feeling really, really bad about the whole deal. So I was glad that he played and ended up witnessing one of the great performances of all time. I really liked him. I mean, this is an obscure answer for Chicagoans, but I loved that 69-70 Knicks team, and I really liked Walt Frazier. He was a great, very, very slick ball handler and playmaker, and he just made that whole thing work. And one of the reasons was that he was great with either hand. He had the Atlanta schoolboy record for touchdowns, and one of the reasons was that he could roll either way and throw with either hand.
And Southern Illinois' finest after that.
Yeah, so I really liked him. But man, I've been blessed to see so many. I was in St. Louis. I hitchhiked down to St. Louis as a student in 1973 and saw the Final Four, at which Bill Walton against Indiana in the final game. I think it was against Indiana. I think Memphis State was beaten by Indiana. But in the final game, he scored 21 of 20. He had 21 of 22 field goals and 8 assists. And it was about as perfect a game as I had ever seen anyone play, and under, pressured circumstances, national championship game. So in terms of a single performance, that may have been the greatest game I actually personally witnessed.
Yeah, and we know you're a busy man here, so we're going to let you go. Before we do, I just wanted to make it known that you will be speaking at our College of Communication graduation ceremony this year, correct?
I will, and I probably will stray onto other topics in addition to sports, but I look forward to being there. I look forward to being home in Chicago.
Well, we cannot thank you enough for having on here. We know you're a busy man. It was a great time. Do you mind if we send you out with some Bruce Springsteen here? I know he's one of your favorites.
He's my man. I got his picture hanging on my wall right here in the White House.
Well, then it's perfect for you. David, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Great being with you.
Thanks a lot.